from WBAY TV. Coverage you can count on. Action 2 News this morning starts now.
Good morning. We've been talking about the snowstorm that hit the Midwest Sunday, and this new video captures just how quickly it came.
Wow, this is time-lapse video a man from the Kansas City area is sharing. His yard went from green to snow-covered in 3.5 hours.
Kansas City International Airport is open again this morning as well. Let's take a peek at our weather. Here's Steve in Storm Center 2.
All right, guys, we'll see broken cloud cover across northeast Wisconsin today, so clouds and some patchy sun. There's also a chance of a few stray flakes, but nothing that's going to accumulate like the video you saw in Kansas City. High temperature of 26 degrees, but it's going to feel like the single digits and teens with a brisk west to northwest wind. Right now, temperature-wise, we're 23 in Oconto and Green Bay, 22 in Sheboygan. From the Fox Valley in northwest, we're in the teens, but many of our wind chills are in the single digits. The feel-like temperature is both 8 in Appleton and in Oshkosh. Now, here's Storm Center 2 pinpoint predictor, and here's the wind chill chart. The feel-like temperature in Green Bay at 7 a.m., 10 degrees. 3 o'clock this afternoon towards the end of the school day, 16 with a northwest wind around 10 to 15 miles an hour. We've got another chilly day for northeast Wisconsin, but later this week we get some milder air. Coming up at 5:16, we'll show you that Storm Center 2 7-day forecast, which also has some accumulating snow as we head into Thursday. Kevin and Tammy.
All right, thanks, Steve. And new this morning, the Oconto County Sheriff's Office says a man died from injuries he suffered last month.
Sheriff's Office says 75-year-old Wayne Trudell from the town of Mountain got into a crash with another car on October 31st. It happened in Mountain at the intersection of Highways 32 and 64. The other driver wasn't hurt. Also new this morning, on Thursday, a send-off ceremony will take place in the Lambeau Field atrium for nearly 400 Wisconsin Army National Guard soldiers heading to Afghanistan.
Action 2 News was there in 2009 during a ceremony at Lambeau Field atrium that was for 130 soldiers deploying to Iraq, and the soldiers deploying now are from the 2nd Battalion, 127th Infantry, which is based in Appleton.
And we told you about the deployment when it was announced back in September. They'll support NATO's mission to help Afghan security forces. That send-off ceremony is not open to the public.
501, a former Trump campaign advisor, is now in Wisconsin serving a 2-week prison sentence. George Papadopoulos is in Oxford in Marquette County, serving time for lying to FBI agents about the Russia investigation. Papadopoulos arrived at the federal prison yesterday. We have some video we want to show you of him getting dropped off. There he is. Oxford Correctional is a medium security prison, so a lot of the cells don't have bars and most of the facility doesn't have door locks.
It's kind of like being away from home, removed from your family, removed from your freedoms, but still in a pretty tolerable living situation that's much more akin to an old school college dorm than it is to what people think of when they think of prison.
Papadopoulos was sent to Oxford because it's the closest federal prison to his hometown of Chicago, where he will serve probation for a year. He also has to pay a $9,500 fine and do 200 hours of community service.
Special counsel Robert Mueller says former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort violated his plea agreement. Mueller says Manafort repeatedly lied to federal investigators in the Russia investigation. Prosecutors are now asking a federal judge to set a date to sentence Manafort. He pleaded guilty to conspiracy and witness tampering in September. He denies lying, and his attorneys say Manafort believes he provided truthful information. It's 5:03 now. It's Giving Tuesday. It's one way to give back today, and you could give blood. That's one way.
That is one way to do it. The Packers are actually hosting a blood drive today at Lambeau Field to help you out there. Kristen L is there live this morning to tell us more about it.
Good morning. Yeah, it is Giving Tuesday, so what a great way to, help out the community by helping out the Red Cross. And you can actually do that in a couple of different ways. You can do that by coming here to Lambeau Field and giving blood today. You can also donate money if that's something that you prefer to do, or your time, because the Red Cross is always looking for volunteers as well. And behind me here, you can see they have some supplies set up here. The blood drive actually starts at 7 o'clock this morning, but there will be staff and volunteers filtering in here shortly to get everything set up and ready to go here In the Legends Room at Lambeau Field, they have these Packers blood drives 3 times a year, and today's goal is to collect 354 donations. And right now, there's a critical time. They're really looking for blood donations during the holidays and the winter months because people travel this time of year. The holidays make people busy. Also, sometimes just with bad weather, blood drives can get canceled, and that kind of sets the Red Cross behind sometimes. So if you can come out and give blood today. It's happening from 7 this morning until 7 this evening here at Lambeau Field, and we'll be checking back in with you guys throughout the morning. Reporting live at Lambeau Field, Kristen Allen, Action 2 News.
Kristen, thanks. 504. If you've driven through Door County, chances are you've stopped on the way in Sister Bay to check out that unique restaurant with goats on the grass roof.
We're talking about Al Johnson's Swedish restaurant there in Sister Bay. It's getting national recognition for being the best small business in America.
So a waste and recycling company named Rubicon held this contest, which included a public vote to decide the winners. Rubicon says that grass and sod roofs absorb rainwater, and that provides natural insulation and creates an environment for wildlife.
The company adds that Al Johnson's roof also cuts down heat and energy costs for the restaurant. Rubicon awarded Al Johnson's $10,000, and the restaurant decided to give that money to the Wisconsin Humane Society.
By the way, next year, Al Johnson's turns 70 years old. And by the way, they have really good Swedish pancakes with lingonberries.
Yes,
Yeah,
they're
I've heard
delicious.
the food's pretty good. Do those goats ever come down? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I've only eaten there once because the other times we've tried, the line, you know.
It's usually
popular.
packed. Yes, the goats come down.
They do. In winter or something, they don't keep them up there all
Yeah,
winter.
and then they put them up there for a certain amount of time, and they eat. And
Wonder how they lift them up. I got a lot of questions about those goats.
They have a ramp.
Still ahead at this half hour of Action 2 News this morning, Dictionary.com chooses the 2018 Word of the Year.
Okay, so we'll give you some hints. It's one of these 4 words: self-made, misinformation, representation, or backlash. You can ponder that for a few minutes. Which one is its word of the year? We'll tell you the answer coming up about 5:15 this morning.
Also still ahead, after the busiest shopping weekend of the year, some of you might be getting your holiday packages a little late. Find out what state 2 FedEx trucks crashed, leaving packages everywhere.
From WBAY TV, Kevin Rompa, Tammy Elliott, and Catherine Bracho. This is Action 2 News this morning. Coverage you can count on.